Hello everyone. Today we have with us Dr. Geoffrey from Kenya, Maria
Maria from
from
Syria.
Syria, and I'm here, your friend Kunal Guha from India. So I'll ask Dr. Geoffrey, please introduce yourself and what's your complete, with a wide range of portfolio what you have, please to our audience.
Thank you very much, Kunal sir. It's an awesome moment, really, here at St. Joseph's, having been invited to a forum here hosted by my sister here, Maria from Syria. A very powerful event that just culminated 2 days ago, and then at the back, right after that, we have this startup event. Well, my name is Geoffrey Ngewa. I'm a doctor by profession, a pharmacist as well, trained in India, a clinician trained in Kenya, and an entrepreneur, well groomed in India, with interest with the universal health coverage. I'm an enthusiast in that, as well as looking at the future of Africa as far as health is concerned, and all the other developmental systems as far as they are concerned, and very much interested with the education system, because I know the strongest force of change for the entire globe at the moment lies with the students and the young people. So really investing much in them and bringing innovations, and also creating platforms for their expedition of ideas. So that's in a nutshell what really I do. Thank you.
That's a very vast introduction. And Maria, please introduce yourself and what's your complete take on the students, particularly what you work on.
All right, so my name is Maria Al Homsi. I'm from Syria. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's a pleasure being here with you. Yeah, so I'm the co-president of Afro-Asian Students Connection in India, Bangalore chapter. The platform has been working for a few years in Delhi, Pune, Chandigarh, and other cities in India. And now we've brought it to Bangalore here. The platform is basically for all students from African countries and Asian countries. So as long as you are a student in Bangalore, you are welcome to join us. The main idea behind the platform is to bridge the gap between African students and Asian students in general, including Indian students, obviously, because we are in India. And yeah, we have different events throughout the year, maybe cultural events, sports events, conferences, graduation days, and yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity once more.
That's it. You both have traveled the world a lot and you have seen the youths around you.
Mm.
What the major changes you see from the last decade?
Well, there is a huge dynamic. We can call it a whole entire paradigm shift, because the generations have changed. Now you hear about the Gen Zs, the millennials. Honestly, during the millennial season, the millennials themselves did not know they are called millennials. But then now we have that naming, then we already have a future one labeled the Gen Z Alphas. With all these, that's just the tip of an iceberg. It tells you there is a lot of dynamics that have happened within the core of the whole stuff. So, beginning with the social aspect, the social dynamics have completely changed, cultural dynamics have completely changed, technological shifts have taken another whole wavelength, a different frequency.
Yeah.
Now. The health, okay, even health sector, yeah. And then when it comes to education approach, now even the perspectives about education, things have really changed. Everything has changed, and even the weather here. Now it's too hot in Bangalore for the first time.
Climate change.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah.
Someone said I've
Bangalore is
imported.
completely changed now.
Someone told me I imported the hot weather, the sun from Delhi. When I
Yeah.
It's okay. Yes.
So, in my opinion, I'm a software engineer. I'm currently in my final year. So, when we see the tech aspect of this generation, it's so much like involved. The generation in general is so much involved in the tech aspect. So that change also contributes to the new generation and how they grow up and how they perform like in schools and just in general in life and in the future, especially with the rising now of AI and automation and everything. So I think in a few years we'll have a different future and we have to have the new skills to be able to work and live in the future.
Yeah, Maya has pointed a very good thing, that's AI part. How you see the AI is changing this generation, and what's the impact on this particular generation? How dangerous it is? How good it is?
To me, it's a very positive thing. Everything to do with development is very good, but moderation and regulation is very
Yeah, that's
necessary
true.
for
100%.
everything. I personally love the way things have been made easy. However, the negative side of it, we've looked at the education sector now, people are choreographing answers for assignments in the student
Yeah.
sector. So they even the chat GPT produces everything for you. You don't even know what you've written, but you pass. So we need very good regulatory measures. Those are some of the negative outcomes. But the positivity is that those people who really are out to do quite a lot, they can do even 10 times greater, 100 times better than they could with the technology. So what is very important is to help the people to change their mindset. My real focus is on the mindset, so that when the mindset becomes development oriented, then it won't bring the negative. You go with the speed of which the systems are moving, so that it becomes useful.
Also, one more thing to add to his point, with the rising of AI, I think we should involve more the younger generations and women and people of color in general, so it can be inclusive to everyone. Yeah.
Yeah.
How you think it's influencing the? It has the power to influence any of the generations. Even you, me, the Gen Zs can be easily influenced by AI, right?
That's right. To be very honest, I'm very passionate about the cultural integrity and the structures of the behavioral structures among within the societies. The porosity is so alarming. The moment the behavior, okay, I want to quote someone. Someone said, anonymous, when you lose money, you've lost nothing. When you lose your health, you've lost something. But when you lose your values, you've lost everything. So, on that note, the biggest porous aspect and my area of interest is the cultural aspect. I would really want that proper regulation measures be focused, and that boils down to the policies, even the curriculum developers, so that they can shape it to make sure that the people are well aware. The biggest problem is lack of knowledge. When you
Definitely.
introduce internet exposure to a small kid, it destroys them, because they will see dirty things. Now you see they're using pornographic stuff to commercialize things, such kinds of regulations, and then creating awareness of the harm will make them now move to another level. We are not living in the eras where you take a slippers and beat the child because of watching, because they will be like, what the heck is this? It's a time when they need to really understand, oh, if I do this, this will injure me in such a way. So that understanding, meaning the standards have really shifted.
Even even I'm from that generation where in India we got this broadband that has a very limited data access.
Okay.
Okay, we used to get free data at night,
Okay.
only at night. At day it will charge you.
Yeah.
Okay, it was that expensive. Okay, then we have seen particular to see a video on YouTube. We need to wait for a very long time because the speed was there was no
Yeah.
speed. It was walking
It's very
internet
slow.
that time.
Exactly.
Okay, then it comes 3G,
4G
Yeah.
mobile
and now
part,
5G.
in 4G. 4G was so expensive when we are using it. Okay, it was around around some 450 rupees something 1 GB we are used to for every
Oh,
month we used to
oh.
one GB. Very good. Now we have a very cheapest data.
Yes, yes.
Okay, in the whole world we have very cheapest data, just some 15 cents or something for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very cheap. So now
Mm.
the speed is very fast. It's
That's true.
very fast.
Mm.
So what I think is that the youth is also getting, they want everything very fast.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, they don't have that patience level what we used to have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's actually true. Even according to research, they found that even our focus now, it has reduced. We used to be able to focus more and to be more present in the moment than now. Now the world is very fast, right? So it influenced us in that way.
Mm.
Even from the education part, I want to know. See, AI is, after AI or these things, the things are very changing very fast.
Yes.
How education part is getting adapted to that? Because you might be talking to various of the students, the educator, the policy makers, So how you think that is, we need to go that fast, and how we can do that?
Yeah, yeah, I think it's possible. Here in India, I think they're doing pretty well. Particularly like at my university, I see that they're changing the subject and they're trying to adopt the new technologies almost every year. But the thing that I think we should focus more on is the practical part of any course. So we don't have to learn so much theory. I think if it could be like more practical, we can experience more the actual job. It would be more beneficial to the students. Yeah.
So I'll come to the human rights part. You are the ambassador of the United States of youth, right?
United Nations
United
Global
Nation of,
Compact.
yes. So tell us about some insights and how you, what's your interest gone to that? Because you're a pharmacist, so human rights, how it's how it came up.
The stem word in that is the youth. Someone said, if you want to kill the world, finish, target the youth, the young people, kill the shoots. When you cut them, you have no one left. I got in because rights are very important to know for expression, limitations. Human rights essentially came to protect the people from the harm that comes from the malicious environment, and sometimes even the freedom or the exposure to resources that people don't recognize. So when you realize you have a right to access some things, for instance, there are a lot of complexes that come from the brain mindset. For instance, the inferiority mindset. You might think you are not entitled to access and to use. You think, okay, there are some different type of human beings who really deserve to walk on such a path. But then it comes to make you realize, no, you have a right to good education. You have a right to express yourself, your mind, to think. Don't be cowards in thinking and expressing, and then all the other aspects. It's quite a wide thing. Well, my interest is not just in the Youth for Human Rights. I actually got in there so that I would anchor into the entire UN body at large. Uh, for instance, UN has so many bodies. We have UNHCR, you have WHO, you have UN,
For youth.
UNEP, UNICEF, you have WFP, you have UNDP. All those are very important bodies. And they are all targeting particular areas. Being in the health sector, I am eventually getting into the WHO.
Yes.
But at the same time, we are looking at the development of the world as a whole. So we are capturing the youth first. So create awareness among them. Like the other time, we were addressing a fifth global peace summit. You see, peace has become an issue all over the world. It's very important for everybody to be brought to awareness. I always, during my speech, it's on the YouTube, I say this, that when you look at India, it is the perfect prototype of harmonization of diversity. Diversity is very rich, is wealthy. But now, when you look at countries like Africa, mostly where I come from, Diversity is a dividing factor. So I'm from this tribe, you're from this tribe, the other one like that. But then when you look at now, I always say it's a pseudo kind of expression. India is almost like 38 countries in one because we have 28 states and 10 territories. So the 10 territories are also independent. So
Yeah.
like after every 100 kilometers, there's a tribal change. Every
There
state,
is a food change, there is a
Everything.
language change,
The
language
culture is
change.
completely
and
different.
it's actually very lovable. You
Uh-huh.
know,
Okay.
you just do one thing.
Okay.
Usually, I think you travel by flights or something.
Yes, a lot. Very
Uh,
much.
in India, try to travel in a vehicle or car or
Oh my
something.
God.
Okay, just
Yeah.
travel. Now
Yeah.
the road communications are
Okay.
very beautiful.
Yes.
Travel by that.
Mm.
Okay, in Bangalore you will get some traffic. That's inbuilt. You know, it's a bloodline of Bangalore. But when you leave it, after that you just change it. You will get a small stores and everything.
Yes.
The food, everything is changes in every part, and it's very nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, it
Very
is.
nice. You should experience that part, and
Yes.
you will not feel that, oh my God, why I came over here. You will feel, oh my God, thank God I came here,
Exactly.
because
Yeah.
you otherwise you fly Delhi and you
You
miss
don't see
everything.
anything on the way.
I have traveled with sleeper bus. First time for me to hear about a sleeper bus to
Uh-huh.
see
Uh-huh.
was here. In fact, I said no, I'm not taking a flight. Let me take a sleeper. It was an amazing journey. From there are some short journeys. Of course, we don't want to go for 48 hours in a car or a train.
Train, yeah.
But at the same time, look at that dynamics. The dynamics across the country. All of them on Republic Day in January. You will find all of them across India with their rickshaws,
Yeah.
small rickshaws, with their
Indian
flag,
flag.
the Indian flag, and they're very happy. Yeah, my India. Like they love, they are very patriotic. So that's one of the things that you pull out. You realize the dynamics are a source of strength. Such kinds of awareness should be created through such bodies. So, and also many other areas of development because you talk about, look at the recession. Recession hit the world just recently.
Recession is there on the global market,
Yes,
but you will not feel it in India
you will
mostly.
not feel
Mm.
it.
What's the reason?
The systems in India have been
Exactly.
well, it's all about systems.
It's about the policy.
The policies, okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what happened is the
Mm.
globally when there was a COVID hit,
Mm.
okay, there was an interview of our PM.
Okay.
He was saying in that everywhere they used to give money to the, if you are sitting at home COVID,
Mm.
they're transferring the funds to them,
Mm.
right?
Okay.
Mhm.
They're giving them some dollars, some in the US, some they're giving some $1,000 or $2,000 weekly or something like that. So Modi said, I'll not give that. Either he gave loan to start their business after,
Mm.
very
Mm.
less interest free loan, okay, given to the every particular, every MSME, every small, even the person who is in we call it a thela,
Mm.
or
Okay.
a small
The small scale
yeah,
businesses.
very small, nano, tea vendor,
Okay.
fruit vendor,
Mm.
flower vendor, given to them, and they started the economy again. And
Oh, wow.
there, what when it's hit the global economic, it's not affecting in India that much. There's the India still doing. So it's the policy
The
that help
policies.
out this particular thing to go on. So it's a see when I talk about maybe I don't know how I sound over here,
Mm.
but I will be very much genuine over in this part. But
Mm.
that this particular government
Mm.
thinks for 100 years above this. That
Okay.
what will be there after 100 years. They never talk. Whenever you will, if you talk to the, if you see their interviews or something, you'll never see they are talking about next 5 years.
Mm.
Never. They'll talk about next 25 years.
Mm.
First break. Next 50 years, another break.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Other than this, they plan that straight. That's the vision what they see. That's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, that's a good
Totally
way
agree.
of running a country.
Mm.
Even like plans for 5 years, yeah, they are good, but we should have a long term goal or whatever, something that we are looking forward to achieve, something that is bigger than us. And the other thing is that even after you change the government, like from one regime to another, they should follow the same path, even though they change some maybe goals or whatever to to continue with the state that they are moving towards. But then the ultimate goal should be kind of the same for at least maybe like 25, 50 years. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think I will pick up what you've mentioned is very key. And I would like many of the leaders out there to really borrow from that. Having a system. You know, one thing is the policies. Very good policies have to be designed. But it's one thing to have a policy, and it's another thing to implement it.
Yeah, true.
So there are a lot of competitive inhibitors in implementation of policies. Number one is poor systems. When you have a poor system, it means it will be purely reliant on a particular leader. It will be person based rather than system based. So, like what you're saying, even when there is change of leadership, there should be a smooth transition. The system should remain constant. Why?
Exactly.
What are we talking about systems? When you say systems, it means on the other side, the facilitator does not even know the person processing, and the person offering, like the owner of the whole system, for instance, a payment, the owner of the company does not know the buyer, and the one who is behind the machines does not know. But the system has already been fairly designed so all people can equally receive the share. Such kinds of systems to reduce discrimination, to reduce corruption, reduce all the inhibiting factors. And at that point, I would just mention three things I would really address. I have personally diagnosed the state in Africa, mostly in the elite states, like in Kenya. Many people are very, very educated, very much educated. In fact, if you would ask me, oh, from Kenya, what is good in Kenya? Number one, before I talk about wildlife, I'll tell you we have brains, serious brains, very nice brains. Now, what happens is this: there is pseudo illiteracy. That is a disease I have diagnosed Africa to have. In medicine, pseudo, we use pseudo to, it's basic Latin scientific language. But when you say pseudo illiteracy, it means they are literate, but they may appear illiterate. Meaning there is some shade that blocks the effectiveness or implementation, and those are what I call the competitive inhibitors. Those competitive inhibitors, number one, is the selfish agendas, especially among the leaders. If the leader becomes the people oriented, automatically the systems will work and facilitate. That's one of the vehicle carrier. Number two, competitive inhibitor is corruption. Because when you are selfish, you become corrupt. So you'll have to corrupt systems for your selfish gain. And now, the moment corruption enters, it's doomed. Look, if you look at nations like Dubai, Dubai has succeeded because of corruption. You do corruption, you are killed. So, and compare and contrast, like, so such kinds of systems. Now, the third competitive inhibitor, now this is this is very serious, is discrimination. Discrimination cutting across. Across so now, you know, when we come together, you people can see this is India, this is Syria, that's Asia, and this is Africa, but we are all in the brotherhood platform. Awesome. No discrimination, equal presentation. Now it starts with this nepotism. I've seen this in some countries where you get an opportunity, you only employ your family members. That's part of selfishness. But then, apart from that, the next level is the next level is tribalism. I'm from this tribe, and now there's intertribal and intratribal because they're also clan basis. Apart from that, now the next level of discrimination is the racial discrimination. The color, you know, I'm brown, you are white, or he's black, blah blah. Such things, very dangerous. So all these things are competitive. They are inhibitors to development. And now, the moment you remove those things, we need to have systems that would facilitate such kinds of processes, so that now it can be successful.
I'll move the topic towards some youth for human rights. Okay, so over there, share some of your experience. What problem you actually see, and
Okay, thank you. Now, the young people, most of the time, there are very many issues that are affecting them. To start with them, unemployment. Okay, and these are things which I personally look at them differently. You know, when you look at you remember, for those who have done chemistry, you know the isomerization, the D isomers and L isomerization. So when you look at, so when it's this way, and then when you're on the other side, they see differently. They can see the palm is outside, and then the sural part is this other side. So like that. So the inverted aspect of visualizing it. Personally, I believe that the times have changed, and the youth literally need to understand that the times changing mean they need to grow faster. So the most important thing that would address most of the youth problems is mindset shift.
Yeah.
Mindset shift rather than complaining. The current generation mostly they want to live like the former generations were, because then they were employment bent. But look, the numbers have increased. Now, if there were 50 positions, now we are having 50 positions.
Yeah.
Contestants are now 1,000.
Yeah.
You cannot do so much to fix them. Meaning the changed times, they instruct them in terms of career. Young people shift into innovation, startups, and creating of jobs. Now, the other aspect of values, you know, in the Youth for Human Rights, we are carrying out issues to do with you know, there is something to do with, look at the wars taking place on the earth, on the face of the earth today. The Arabian, the Asian, that's the Eastern Asia. Look at.
Adding to your point,
Yes, okay.
yeah, before we
Yes,
continue,
yes.
about the development and the mindset shift, I think to achieve that one, we should focus mainly on the school systems, and we should start from a very young age. Yes, exactly. Because if we change the way kids think as they grow up, the future will also change.
On this.
Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
actually,
sense.
you are very right. School is everything. Curriculum is what develops a person and nurtures them to whom they become eventually. When you look at the curriculums in the West, they have had an impact of whom we have become. They have a lot of positives, but there are some negatives also that we've observed, which really require an intellectual approach and an analysis of filtering them, so that eventually you can be able to keep the pros and do away with the cons. So I believe there is need for review of curriculums and you know, adjustments of some necessary things, and including some other more important things. I will just highlight two things. Number one, look at the current society. It's almost dysfunctional, and I was moving towards that. The aspects of peace and the values, which I was about to just mention, the war taking place everywhere. People are very fanatic in their dimensions. Though these are very sensitive topics to even talk about on such a platform, I know. But there are some very, when you go down to the basics, you can be able to find some few facts. Now, another thing is this. The moment we are living in almost a dysfunctional society, because some of these curriculum components have gone ahead to destroy the systems, like family systems. I want to really appreciate what I observe in India. I want to appreciate also some parts of Africa, like the West Africa family systems, okay, seem to be a bit conserved, but there are things which are inside the curriculum that target. Now, when you break the family system, automatically you expose the young people. You come to think of a young man who has been raised without a father. So they grow out without a father figure, not knowing the details, and then they seem inclined a little bit. Okay, they didn't want, but eventually they lack some few important things. Then they come and meet. So eventually, this is a concept I was just thinking about, and I want our viewers to brainstorm and look at it openly. Look at this: having an effeminate male. Sorry if this comes offensive, and then having a masculine woman. Okay, obviously, at the beginning, It was not like that. But there are some dynamics that have led to this. Now, one thing is this: how do we approach it? First is to accept where we are, not to finger point or say, oh, whatever, but to positively see how to manage it. That brings the need for some psychoanalytics. Psychology would be very important in some aspects to understand, okay, so this is how things are. So this is how we manage the crisis and we sail ourselves out of the problem. Now, the last shot in that is this. When you come for treatment, the first thing when you are in agony, we treat the symptom. Maybe you are in pain in the stomach. We reduce the pain and then we go, we treat the cause. You see, because the pain will tell us about the cause and then, we deal with the pain. So the first thing is to deal with the symptoms of the state of instability among the young people, especially the youth, and then going to, then we shall go boil down, after managing the situation, we now boil down to the curriculum and then handle and correct some things and add things which are very important.
I would like to add one more point here. I believe that there is no perfect system, like educational system, in any country in the world. So each country should adopt a system that works for that particular country. As he mentioned, like we get the things that work for us and we leave the things that are not working. Yeah.
I like to ask you the different kind of questions over here. Okay. What those few things you would love to adopt in Africa from India?
Number one, the healthcare system. I've worked in the hospital in India and I love what I've seen. The accountability, the seriousness, the patient oriented care, and the systems actually they work very well. Now, majorly, I am running an initiative back home to that targets UHC. UHC is the universal health coverage that I've seen some aspects. I know India is still working on it, but there are some aspects we can borrow to apply. The biggest striking factor that has captured my attention in Africa is the mortality rates. You find patients would die because of lack of resources, and that's the medicines. So the number one thing is availability. So how do we increase availability of the medicines? Now, contract manufacturing can be a way we do that, and then that's what exactly I'm doing, and we can upscale this for high sufficient supplies. It's all right competitively and politically. You would say, okay, now we want to do local manufacturing. It's a good idea, but also consider the costs. That's where now the intercountry cost and quality, the bilateral relations work there, because if we can have them manufactured abroad and then in sufficient quantities supplied, very good. Number two is the accessibility. Yes, they are available. Once you've increased the availability, like in India, look, every village has a chemist and you easily access the medicine you need.
Not village. Every colony has.
Every colony, oh my God.
Yeah.
Colony has a pharmacy.
You can even almost go down to a mandal then. But they have pharmacy sufficient, so that's supply. And then, of
Even
course,
in Bangalore, it's more one step ahead. You can order it online within 10 to 15 minutes.
you already
or
have
1 hour.
it.
Yeah,
That's
great.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Look
that's
at that.
great.
Now, that's the next thing which I was about to say. So, apart from medicines, we have medical supplies, medical supplies, medical instruments, surgical instruments, medical machines, and then the next level is the medical personnel. The quality of training really needs to be looked at, and then they're very effective in India. I've seen. Now, the second aspect which you are talking about is accessibility. The first thing is to make them available, but accessibility can be an issue. So you use technology. So on the platform where the B2B platforms with algorithms very well worked out, they can access each other. Apart from that, then have accessibility, and then you can then use, like, you people can order within minutes, you have it. But also you need to make sure you have regulations of the Ministry of Health so that
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
upon
like that.
prescription
It's like that. So
it's very
once
well
you order it, you get a call from an authorized doctor from that particular app.
Yes.
Okay.
That person verifies your prescription,
Okay.
then it gets delivered.
Look at
Okay.
that.
Yeah, that's
After
amazing.
authorizing,
Yeah.
then it gets delivered.
Yeah, because in some countries there's that problem. Like people just buy medicine anyhow, and it's actually affecting the entire world. Like um, some medicines won't be working after a few years if we continue taking them in this way, and even the lifespan of people would reduce because even like a simple thing like a flu or something could kill people in the future if we don't actually, you know, take
How much is
precautions
the
on it.
cost of the blood pressures medicines you think for?
Hey, they're very expensive.
Very expensive.
They're almost three to four times.
You visit Jan Aushadhi Kendra
Yes.
in India,
Yes.
buy the medicine.
Yes.
Tell me what the price is.
I've said they're 3 to 4 times cheaper in India in general
Okay.
scale and more.
It's very cheap.
Very extremely cheap. And look, that's the next level. I don't know why you are on my line. I talk about three things. The next thing is affordability.
Yeah.
So once they are in sufficient supply, then they are accessible, then the affordability, they will be affordable, and then the government systems that we talked about can be regulated. Yeah,
This
I
by the
think the
government
sun.
itself, it's very
It's okay.
accessible and
Yeah.
it's very affordable. They made it very affordable.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
very affordable.
even in many of the government hospitals, you get it for free.
Yeah,
And if you want to buy it outside, it's
imagine.
very affordable.
You know the systems in India. You just go to the hospital with the card and you are treated. The payment has already been done by the government. So such kinds of systems need to be applied in Africa. We would really love to get that implemented, and also other parts of Asia. I'm aware.
Yeah.
Let's say generally the global South, because Africa, some parts are really well developed. To be very honest, the
Yeah.
South Africa, and of course there are areas. I'm just looking at some particular areas which of interest. Yeah, another aspect of when you'll be done transport. Oh, metro, the lovely metro.
Yeah.
Yeah, transport systems, healthcare, and then yeah, those are the things with the infrastructure. The way they've really come up with local, locally acquired materials, and the biggest of all that will summarize most is the self-sustained systems. You generate stuff and you consume. Self-dependent with your own local brand is really awesome.
Uh, how many? What's the time span you are being in India?
This is my fourth year now in India.
So you might have enjoyed Diwali festival and all.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
coming up right now.
Yeah, next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've celebrated it like twice, and I'm planning to go to Mysore this year. Hopefully,
Yes.
it's a big celebration there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you'll be staying by that time, 31st?
No, my flight is tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'll be leaving.
Try to postpone it if possible. When you are here in India,
Yeah.
explore it. You will get to know
Okay.
many of the things.
Yeah.
Just travel around.
Yeah, sure.
Not buy bike or something, not buy some
Yeah.
tourist guide or something.
Uh-huh.
Go by yourself.
By yourself and witness, right?
Yes, witness.
Okay.
You will find it. You use UPI over here.
Not yet. But yeah, you use UPI
UPI
payments.
for
I've
payment.
seen UPI,
Yeah, yeah.
payments. Yeah.
Scanner.
Right.
It's very easy.
Easy.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Go ahead, use it.
Yes.
It's a good
You will,
system.
you will, you will able to experience that particular. You should experience it because it's so seamless, it's so secure, it's very
It's
easy.
called Bharat Desh, the country of festivals, right?
It's country of festivals.
Festivals.
Now the biggest festival is Diwali.
Yeah, Diwali.
Okay.
You should live this festival with you.
There's also Holi, or do you call it? The one
later on it's
in March.
March.
Yeah, it's
comes
a nice
around.
festival as well.
But try to be there. Try to be there in Diwali. Enjoy it because you will live. You should gain these experiences.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for that.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, this was the amazing conversation we had.
Yeah.
So, any message for the viewers you have at least?
Well, I believe that we need very good leadership. Leadership is what should be inspired among the young people growing. and also the current people who are there try to learn how to improve the leadership skills, because proper leadership brings good harmonization of diversity and also problem solving and situations. So each and every person is a leader in that manner in your all small cocoons. Try to look at all those dimensions and work on it so that integrity is the very most important thing that we need to have. Once we've upheld it, we will get all the values put on the table and well exploited. We will open our minds. Everyone has something to teach you. So at the end of the day, we shall have a very productive, a very good way forward. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and how to improve that leadership quality, I would like to invite every student here in Bangalore to join us, Afro-Asian Students Connection in India, Bangalore chapter. So as long as you are a student here in Bangalore, you are most welcome to join us in any of our events. You can check our account on Instagram at Sky, and yeah, you'll get all the updates from there. Thank you so much for
And
the interview.
maybe before you sign off, I would like to just mention, based on what you said,
Alright.
there's the NIS project that we are running. We are running from the Kenya High Commission New Delhi's approval. We are running a project national, not the Nexus for Intellectual Scholars. I've initiated that program for all the scholars across in the disciplines of STEM, science, technology. If at all you would want to get involved in the scientific innovation and research, as well as development in AI areas and all that. Another we have 5 dichotomies. The second one is in social sciences, so in political science and the law. If you would want to look and study those political systems back in your country and here and compare and see what are the best strategies to develop yourself, is there. Number three, we also have entrepreneurship, very important platform for you if you want to become an entrepreneur, to do a startup and grow yourself. We have that platform. We shall be. And then number four, we also have art, and we have art. Yes, art. So we're having games and also music and all those things. Maybe short clips, whatever plays is called what the dramas, whatever that can be used to maneuver through mental health and whatnot. Psychology is part of that also. And finally, of course, I talked about 5 disciplines. Yeah, natural resources and the aerospace. All those geospatial, whatever the areas you'd want to develop in that dimensions, you'll be able to find them there. So in this NIS platform, we are going to run hackathons, we'll run contests, we'll run exhibitions, we'll run also conferences, and we will be inviting you guys. You'll check online. I'm sure you can be able to get the Nexus for Intellectual Scholars. We'll run it. Join us. Let us develop ourselves, create job networks and the opportunities, job opportunities, instead of relying on the prevailing things, whatever we have, the systems. Let us build systems that will sustain us and develop our communities. So thank you very much. You've given me a reminder to also extend the invitation to that platform. Thank you so
Sure.
much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you
sir.
so much, everyone.
Mm.